Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayana
Narayanam namaste.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati
Saraswati
Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashtapraya
Prayeshu Bhaktishu Nityam Bhagavasi
Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati
Nastiki Krishnaya Vasu
Naya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Namo Namo Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Om Ajnanatimrantasya Ananjanashlakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guru. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 7th chapter, 26 shloka. Any volunteers who would like to read the Sanskrit?
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
Kim idam svikkuto veti.
Kim edam
Svikkuto veti.
Deva deva na vedyam aham.
Deva
Deva Deva Vidyamaham
Sarvato mukham ayati.
Sarvato Mukhamaya
Ayati
Tejah param darunam.
Tejah Param
Parandarunam.
Translation. O Lord of Lords, how it is that this dangerous effulgence is spreading all around. Where does it come from? I do not understand it. Prabhuji, scroll. Prabhuji, can you scroll? I can't see purple. Okay. Purple. Anything that is presented before the personality of Godhead should be so done after due presentation of respectful prayers. That is the standard procedure. And Sri Arjuna, although an intimate friend of the Lord, is observing this method for general information. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Mataji, anything you want to share?
Prabhuji, please you elaborate on this because it's more on how we should offer prayers and how things are done in temple. So I have less knowledge, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I don't have much knowledge either. But I was just thinking, reading this, that even the same point which so Shant Prabhu had mentioned a few days ago, that the Astra, Brahmastra has been released from there. And what is Arjuna doing?
Thinking about praying to Krishna.
Taking his time to pray to Krishna and talk, how you are glorifying basically. So a devotee of the Lord, he just likes to glorify the Lord at every opportunity and pray to the Lord, right? So that's what Arjuna is doing, and Prabhupada is saying this is the etiquette actually. We don't realize this, we are not having that kind of a training. So we are very conditioned. So Prabhupada is saying that that is a standard procedure. So this is a standard procedure that anything that is presented before Supreme Personality should be done after due presentation of respectful prayers. So throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll find lots of prayers of the Lord. Sometimes, of course, with kids, if we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, then the kids will, in one way, may get even bored. They are offering prayers. What happened to the story? We want to hear the story. And same thing may be true for adults too. We are so much conditioned. We don't have proper etiquette of how to glorify the Supreme Lord. But Prabhupada is emphasizing here that this is a standard etiquette, and if Arjuna also is following that, then so much more it is for us to follow that. When we go to the Supreme Lord, if we recite some shlokas, some prayers of the great devotees, or say it in our own words, best is to recite the shlokas from the Mahajans or the great devotees like Kunti Maharani's prayers and all of these great shlokas. Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. But most of us may not be remembering all these shlokas, right? But if we can recite the essential shlokas or the essential meaning of this, that may be also very nice. So some devotees, like once Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was mentioning in his lecture or talk, that how when he goes in front of the Lord or the deities, he recites these prayers and shlokas, and he was encouraging other devotees also to do so. Now one boy, after some time, he came back to him. He said, since the time I have heard that talk of yours, or in a lecture I heard this point from you, I've been trying to recite the shlokas when I go to the Lord. But previously, when I used to go to the Lord, I used to take darshan. I was in prayerful mood, and now I am in anxiety only every time I go, because I'm like, whether I'll be able to remember the shloka or not, which shloka should I tell? So the person was very anxious. So then Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was mentioning in his lecture that for everyone it may be a little different. It may not necessarily the same thing everybody has to do. But general etiquette is to approach the Lord with some offering of love. So we can offer, prayers. We can offer some object, some item, whatever we want. Like one devotee, I was listening to a lecture. They were saying, anytime you go to the Lord, just offer something. Maybe offer a flower. If you don't have anything, just offer, a few dollars. Just offer something to the Lord every time you go. So this is such a nice training to the mind when we are going to the Lord. Training ourselves to do service attitude. And if we are in that service attitude, then that will be very helpful in overcoming our inherent condition mentality of wanting to be the center. Like our ego makes us feel everything which happens should have happened according to me. Anyone who comes in contact with me should act in a way in which I expect, or in which I am comfortable, or in which I can relate properly. Such expectations many a times are not met. And that leads to a lot of disturbance of our mind, disturbance of our, whatever situation we may be in. But when we are acting in this consciousness of being the servant of the servant of the servant, we can stay very humble. And if we stay humble, we are able to overcome any such situation where things are not going according to our will. Because if we are servant, then anyways we should expect things will not go. Because servant means, humility, means the master can say anything, anytime. And the servant means to be obedient. And this is not ordinary servant for who's working for money. This servant means serving the Supreme Lord's servant because of the love for the Supreme Lord and his devotees. So a real servant of the servant means to be serving the orders of the Guru, to be serving the orders of senior Vaishnavas, Acharyas. And that consciousness, we can really serve the Lord and maintain Trenad api sunichena taror api sahishnunam amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Honestly speaking, if one is in this consciousness, that person can be happy. And that person can chant the holy name constantly. If we are not in that consciousness, some or the other material situation will force us to become disturbed and be unhappy. And this is a very difficult level to achieve. And with practice of serious and sincere devotion, it is very much possible. So those who have humility, they can advance fast in bhakti, and those who advance fast in bhakti can get more humility. So it is like a circle. So those were few thoughts which were coming to my mind as we were reading the shloka. Anybody else would like to share?
Prabhuji, once I was listening to Nidai Sevni Mataji's lecture, and Mataji was sharing that whenever you go in front of Lord or to the temple or deities at your home, first thing you should always do to say all the bad things you have, all the bad qualities you have, all your mistakes, that how materially entangled you are. And the second step you should do is to glorify the Lord, saying that you are Patit Pavan, I'm so fallen and still you are giving me, accepting me, and pray to Radharani so that she convey this message to Krishna. And then third step, you should ask Mataji was saying that you should ask for bhakti, and every time you can, each day, each second, you can grow more in bhakti and get more closer to Krishna. But yeah, this is what, but generally people ask. I also ask a lot of things, but then Mataji said that these are the steps you should follow. That first tell all bad qualities you are, and then glorify the Lord. And third, ask for something if you need to ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Madhuri. That's a very nice point you shared. Actually, in connection with that, I was also remembering that once, I don't know how many devotees know, Krishna Nanda Prabhu, very senior brahmachari, was mentioning in his lecture that when we go in front of the Lord, we should go like a beggar, like a bhikshuk. And in that mood, like what you already touched upon, one has to understand that so many impurities or anarthas I am totally full of, and then we have to beg for the mercy of the Lord and beggar for spiritual advancement, not for material adjustment. Because in material life, maybe some adjustment we may be forced to ask because of our conditioned inherent nature. You should understand that's not really going to make things too much better. Just temporary adjustment here and there. Really, we need mercy and blessings of the Lord, guidance of the Lord, connection with the devotees, association, and ultimately a proper attitude for serving the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. The more we can chant, the more we can properly be in the right consciousness, the more we can serve the Lord in the proper way. That would be the best thing. So just connected to this, I remembered a song which we may have sung before. I think we did sing before. So let me share 1 second. Can everybody see my screen? I've pulled up a song.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is a song we have sung before. Starts as Amito Durjan Ati Sada Durachar. It's a beautiful sung song written by Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur and sung here by Jai Sachinandan Prabhu. I'm just gonna share a few words. Let me know if you can hear it.
Amito Durjana
You can hear Prabhuji.
Sada Durachara Koti Koti Janme Mo Nahi Ko Uddhara
So this was the first line. I'm just gonna show you the lyrics as well.
Amito Durjana Ate Sada Durachara Koti Koti Janme Mo Nahi Ko Uddhara Amito Durjana Ate Sada Durachara Koti Koti Janme Mo Nahi Ko Uddhara Eheno dayala tabe jagate ache e mata pamare uddhar diyala bekache सुनियाचि श्री चैतन्य पतिता पावाना अनंत पतकी जाने करिला मोचना हे माता दयारा सिंधु कृपा बेतारेया कबे उद्धारिबे मोरे श्री चरण दिया jadi pama.
So I just wanted to share a few words of the song. I really like the song and I really like the way Prabhuji sang this. Very, very, it just touches my heart.
प्रभु जी इसका लिंक भेजेंगे क्या?
प्रभु जी
The
थोड़ा सा ही
audio
बचाए
one.
प्ले कर दीजिए प्लीज।
हाँ, थोड़ा सा? You want to sing the?
थोड़ा सा ही प्रभु जी थोड़ा सा बचाए प्ले कर दीजिए अगर टाइम हो तो।
Yeah, should we do the whole song? We can do.
यस प्रभु जी।
I would love to. Okay.
এবার বোঝা যাবে করুণা তোমারা যদি পামারা জনে করিবে উদ্ধার যাবে कर्म नाय ज्ञान नाय कृष्ण भक्ति नाय तबे बोलो की रूपे हो श्री चरण पाय बरसा हमारा मात्र करुणा তোমার আহাই তো কিসে করুণা বেদেরা বিছা তুমি তো পবিত্র পদ আমি দুরাশা কে মনে তোমারা পদে পাইব আশ্রয় কান্দিয়া কান্দিয়া বলে পতিত পতিতা পাবন নাম প্রসিদ্ধ তোমার আমি তো দুর্জনতে সদা দুরাচার কোটি কোটি জন্মে নাহি কো উদ্ধার
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for playing प्रभु जी।
Thank you. So we have not read the translation yet. So we'll read the translation. But before that, I just want to share. This is a Vaishnav Songs ISKCONDesiratory.com website. So if you click VaishnavSongs.com, in Google, so if you search, this website should open up. And this has lots of songs. If you click on the song list, it will give you songs from alphabetical order. And if you want a particular Acharya song, you can also find that in the categories in different ways if you do. And also in the end, it is there'll be a lot of audios which you can use to see how this particular song is sung. So that way you can practice the song and you can read about it. So it's a beautiful website. I know devotees generally have been using KK song, but this is also a very good website. So this has, the audios as well. So if devotees want, we can quickly read the translation, which actually will include the standard which Mataji was sharing, Nitai Sevni Mataji. And in many of the songs, you'll see this kind of an attitude of how the great acharyas, the saints, they are saying that how they are having all the bad qualities. So is it okay if we read the translation quickly? Will that be all right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Good, Prabhuji.
Okay. Everybody can read one. So who would like to start first? Aap start.
I can start, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
I am certainly the most wicked person, always performing sinful actions. For millions and millions of births, I have not been able to gain release from this predicament. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
I'm told Ansh wants to read the second one.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. So in material world, people are generally thinking, Arey, I am such a nice person. Why is this happening to me? I have never thought anything bad about anybody. I have not done any harm to anybody. Even if that person may have done so many things, the person himself feels that I have not done any harm. And here, this great saint, he had 10 children. All of them, most of them became sannyasis. And he himself wrote so many books in so many languages and took the holy name of the Lord like so many times, more than 1 lakh holy names every day. And he's a magistrate working for 6 hours. And in those 6 hours, the whole British government is constructing a railway line from his house to his office. That his time is very important. And this gentleman is sleeping only for 2 hours, writing books, chanting, meeting people, and serving the Lord in different ways. And this person is saying, I am a wicked person, a most wicked person performing sinful actions, and millions of birth not got any release. Now, if we do a little bhakti or something goes well, then we become very happy. And then our mind goes into sense gratification. That, okay, we have done everything nicely. Now it's our time to enjoy some sense gratification. That is how we feel, right? But here, this man, he has been dedicated in Krishna service for so long, and now he's saying this. Okay. So, Ansh, you want to read second?
I'll read the fifth.
Okay, you read the first. Okay. Who wants to read second?
I can read.
Okay.
Who is so merciful within this material universe as to pick such a sinner up and take me close to himself?
So he agrees that he feels, and he is here saying that he is the most wicked person. But this is not a sign of depression. Some people, who are depressed also talk may talk in some or the other way like this, but they are hopeless. But he's full of hope. And as we read forward, we'll see. Okay, who'll read third?
I can read, Prabhuji.
Oh, go ahead,
Mataji,
Mataji.
go ahead. But I have heard about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is known as the deliverer of the most fallen. Innumerable sinners have already been freed by him. Hare Krishna.
So he is so hopeful. He is saying that I have heard about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So who will pick me up? I am such a sinful person. I've heard of Lord Chaitanya. He has taken so many. In fact, some places Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, like that Gopinath song, he says, which really, another point really touches me when he says that, oh, all the demons have attained your lotus feet, only one demon has remained here, and that is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He is telling himself as a demon. That is like, oh my God. So these great devotees, when they are really displaying this humility, it is the mercy of the Lord. And because of the mercy of the Lord, they have this humility. And because of their humility, it breaks the Lord's heart. So once Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was telling Sanatan Goswami, Sanatan, please stop now. Your humility is breaking my heart. So how much humble you have to be to break the heart of the Lord? I mean, for us, if we say something, it's Lord, it's not going to break Lord's heart, because he will know very easily that so much pride, ego is there within, and some superficial thing is probably we are speaking, but that is not really the core. But in these great devotees, the core of their heart is actually full of humility. Okay, so who will read next?
I can read. Go ahead, Mandy.
आप पढ़िए.
Okay, thank you, Auntie. अच्छा, आप पढ़िए, Auntie.
Such an ocean of compassion he is, who is distributing his own causeless mercy. When will he deliver me? By bestowing upon me his own divine lotus feet. Hare Krishna.
So from his bad qualities, he have now focus has gone to the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his greatness. So now his greatness is being talked about, how he is, having so much compassion, causeless mercy is bestowing on anyone. Now when will my turn come? Fifth. Okay, Ansh, your turn, fifth. Ansh, you're still...
Oh Lord, now I will really understand the extent of your compassion. Only if you are able to deliver this most sinful person.
Thank you. So now he is having rasa with the Lord. He's saying, see, you are very compassionate and causeless mercy, but your extent will only be evident when you deliver the most fallen person. So I am the most fallen. So if you deliver me, then we'll be able to understand. Okay. The sixth. Who will read sixth? Rakshita Mataji.
Henry Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. By what means will I get those lotus feet, since I am completely bereft of fruitive activities, bereft of knowledge, and bereft of any kind of devotion to Krishna? Hare Krishna.
Karma nahi jnana nahi Krishna bhakti nahi. We read, right? So he's saying I'm completely without any of these modes. So what is my hope of getting the lotus feet? Okay, so in seventh he'll tell what the hope is. Who will read seven?
Prabhuji, I can read seventh.
Please, Prabhuji.
My only hope is your compassion. For the opinion of all Vedas is that your compassion is causeless.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning a very, very important point actually. Through these beautiful songs, melodious songs, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, all these great acharyas, they have given the conclusion of the scriptures. So here he is saying that I don't have any of these karma, jnana, bhakti. Even bhakti I don't have. So what is my hope? He's not hopeless. He's saying I have hope. What is my hope? My hope is you. You are my hope because your compassion is actually causeless, which means that how much ever we may have great qualities or we may not have any great quality, that is not good enough for us to qualify to get pure devotional service. We will not be qualified at all. We can only, like a person who doesn't know swimming falls on the water. Now whether he turns his hand right, left, up, down, anything he does, it's not going to save him. But by that attempt, he is getting attention of the person who is expert in swimming so that he can come and save the drowning person. So similarly, whatever attempts are being made, we are making to please the devotees of the Lord. Because if the devotees of the Lord are pleased, that will attract the attention of the Lord. And that will give us the hope of pure devotional service. Otherwise, we cannot. Therefore, so many devotees of the Lord were able to give pure devotional service. Nityanand Prabhu, Haridas Thakur, right? They were able to bestow even to Jagai and Madhai. So, if we can serve some advanced Vaishnava and get their blessings, then maybe we have some hope like that. If anybody wants to add any point, anytime they can, unmute and add. Otherwise, we'll go forward.
I can read next one, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Number 8. You are the very abode of purity, and I am most wicked and evil-minded. So how will I attain the shelter of your lotus feet? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So you are the abode of purity, and I am wicked, evil-minded. How will I attain? Actually, I don't know how many of you are familiar with this Christian concept. Christians, they have this belief system that soul is eternally impure and God is totally pure. So, because you are eternally impure, you cannot go to the totally pure. Has anybody else heard this? I'm sure some of you may have heard. Nobody heard?
Not me, Prabhuji.
So they have a concept that you are eternally impure, and the only way you can go to God is through Jesus. So you have to go to Jesus and then you can go. Son of God. Actually, that is a misinterpretation of the Bible. It's wrong. So one can only go through God through the Son of the God or the bona fide representative of the God. So that bona fide representative actually means a guru. That does not mean only Jesus Christ. It means a guru, and Jesus, of course, is empowered personality, just like a guru, pure devotee of the Lord. Jesus didn't say I am God, he said I'm son of God. People misinterpret and misrepresent. And the other thing which is different is that we have much more refined text scriptures which explain that how the soul is actually pure, but because of coming in contact with the material nature, modes of nature, it has become contaminated. So now because of that contamination, our conditioning is impure. But in reality, we are totally pure. The word eternal also has a different understanding. In Vedic context, when we talk eternal, it means, what does it mean? Eternal means, who will tell? What's the meaning?
Existence forever kind of thing, right?
So eternal means no beginning and no end. It was always there and it will always remain. Right? So that is eternal. But in Christians, it's a weird understanding of eternal. Can anybody tell? So Christians, their concept of eternal is that current, current concept, which is, not appropriate one. It is misconception. But what is it? They think that at the time of birth, soul comes into existence. So soul has a beginning, but no end. That is eternal. Means there is no end of the soul, but there is a beginning. So actually, that is also not completely true. So these vague ideas have formed over the course of 2000 years because of so many different philosophies getting incorporating and amalgamated into it. So just want to touch about this purity thing. We'll read the last one. Anybody would like to read 9?
Weeping and weeping, this fallen and most contemptible person says, Dear Lord, all I know is that your most celebrated name is Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the fallen.
Hare Krishna. So anybody wants to make any points from this? Okay, so we'll go forward.
Prabhuji, I want to add one point.
Yes, Prabhuji, go ahead.
I just want to mention that the flag at the top of the temple of Jagannath Puri known as Patitapavan Bana. One point. The Patitapavan word is there, right, in the last word.
Prabhuji, can you repeat Patita Pavan Bala?
Bana. Bana means flag. In Odia, Bana means flag.
Patita Pavan Bana. Okay, very nice. Thank you.
So it is for those people who cannot enter the temple and they see the Patitapavan Bana at the top of the temple, and it is equivalent to, means respected equivalent as Jagannath itself, that flag. And they change the Patitapavan Bana every day in the evening around sunset time. So it is a nice spectacular event every day. So generally devotees stay till the evening to see that event, and one person take all these flags and the main flag and the flag donated by devotees at to the top of the temple. So anybody visit Puri, please definitely try to attend that event. You just sit outside the temple and you can see it, that view itself.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing.
Sharing. Okay, anybody would like to read this?
Should I read?
Yes, please, ma'am.
Shri Bhagwan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Vetedam Drona Putrasyam
Vetkedam
द्रोणपुत्रस्य
Dronaputrasya
Brahmamastram Pradarshitam
Brahma
ब्रह्मम् अस्त्रं प्रदर्शितम्
Naivasho Ved Samharam
Naiva
नैवासौ वेद संहारम्
Pranabadha Upasthite.
प्राणबाध उपस्थिते.
Should I read the translation?
Sure, Andy.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Know from me that this is the act of the son of Drona. He has thrown the hymns of nuclear energy, Brahmastra, and he does not know how to retract the glare. He has helplessly done this, being afraid of imminent death." But the Brahmastra is similar to the modern nuclear weapon manipulated by atomic energy. The atomic energy works fully on total combustibility, and so the Brahmastra also acts. It creates an intolerable heat similar to atomic radiation, but the difference is that the atomic bomb is a gross type of nuclear weapon, whereas the Brahmastra is a subtle type of weapon produced by chanting hymns. It is a different science, and in the days gone by, such science was cultivated in the land of Bharatvarsh. The subtle science of chanting hymns is also material, but it has yet to be known by the modern material scientists. Subtle material science is not spiritual, but it has a direct relationship with the spiritual method, which is still subtler. A chanter of hymns knew how to apply the weapon as well as how to retract it. That was perfect knowledge. But the son of Dronacharya, who made use of this subtle science, did not know how to retract. He applied it, being afraid of his imminent death, and thus the practice was not only improper, but also irreligious. As the son of a Brahman, he should not have made so many mistakes, and for such gross negligence of duty, he was to be punished by the Lord himself. After the prayers of Arjuna, when Arjun petitions the Lord to negate the Brahmastra, the Lord tells him that this is the act of Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya. And he has done it helplessly, like he has done it as a reflex action. When he has seen that Arjun will kill him, he has, without thinking of anything, he has released the Brahmastra to save himself. And Brahmastra is a subtle type of nuclear weapon. It can cause havoc. It releases a lot of heat. It causes a lot of fire. So he should not have released it, for one thing. And secondly, his knowledge is incomplete. He knows how to release it, but he does not know how to retract it. And that is worse. Incomplete knowledge is worse. So because he has done this act, which is unpardonable, he will be punished by Lord himself. This also reminds me of the story in a Sundarkand of Ramcharitmanas, where Meghnath, when he sees that so many of uh, asuras have died at the hands of Hanumanji, and Hanumanji is very powerful, and even Meghnad has fainted once because Hanumanji boxed him. So when he sees that he cannot do anything else, so he releases the Brahmastra. But Lord Hanuman, in all his humility, he could have saved himself, but he thinks that Brahmastra has a lot of glory to it. And if I don't succumb to this Brahmastra, all the glories of Brahmaji and Brahmastra will be destroyed. So he lets the Brahmastra touch him, and then he faints, falls down on the ground. So there also, Brahmastra was used by an asura. Here it is released by the son of a guru, Brahman, but he has also unthinkingly done this unpardonable act. Hare Krishna, please add to it because my explaining powers are very poor.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you for sharing. Nicely shared. Anybody else would like to share any points from this? So there are different material elements. So you know the 5 gross material elements, right? There are 5 gross material elements, and then there are how many subtle elements? Anybody can tell how many subtle elements are there?
Mind, you shared in Bhagavad Gita class, Prabhuji.
Right.
Few days ago.
Mind, intelligence, and false ego.
Yes, Prabhuji, mind and false ego, something. 3, I guess, Prabhuji.
Mind, intelligence, and ego, I think.
Ego, yeah.
So when we talk about gross elements, earth,
water, air, fire, air, ether.
So generally we restrict ourselves to the gross elements, right? And using the gross elements, primarily the earth element and the fire element, somehow or the other, different weapons are made. But actually in Vedic times, it's mentioned many times, even in the so earth and fire we sometimes use, but there are description of water weapons, and then there are weapons which are actually using the subtle elements also, the power of the mind and the combination of the subtle and the gross element, where there is power of the sound vibrations, the mantra, and the mind, and with the combinations of all of this there are weapons which work in a different dimension than what we have so far discovered. So Prabhupada is mentioning that even though these material modern material science has weapons, and then in the Vedic culture there's a description of weapons which may need the power of sound vibration and the mantras and all of that. But both of this is material science only. One should not think that this is spiritual science. These are transcendental mantras which are being chanted. Not like that. Because these mantras and their application is still material science. I think I lost the... lost the link. Anyways, so this is also material science, and therefore one should not get trapped into these other ways of like in necromancy devotion. Prabhupada explains how there are so many different mystic powers which one may get, but one should not get into this trap of thinking by being misled that this is spiritual knowledge. Anima, lagema, prapti, all these things they are also subtle. Does it make sense? So here, Prabhupada is basically describing the details about how these weapons like Brahmastras and others work. And Neelavanti already described some of the other important points. Anybody else would like to share any points from this?
One point, Prabhuji, I want to add. It is a bit funny, but yes, I want to add it. The Brahmastra and the difference between Brahmastra and the nuclear bombs in the modern era is that Brahmastra was like the very specific and very targeted guided missiles, whereas nuclear bomb is like a hazardous haphazard missile. It fall any place and it will destroy everything. But Brahmastra was like very specific. If you target something, that specific person will be destroyed, but anything or any person staying nearby, even there, they don't get destroyed. So that was the difference I understood. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
Yes, Prabhuji, you are correct. That's a very important point, that Brahmastra, it was so focused. It can focus all the energy at a particular point. And just imagine, it could kill Ashwathama without even affecting the mother. And he was in the womb of his mother.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Yeah, Parikshit Maharaj.
Yeah.
What did I say? I said something else.
Ashwathama.
Ashwathama, Prabhuji.
Ashwathama wanted to kill Parikshit Maharaj.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
So he threw the Brahmastra, and the Brahmastra was so much pinpointed, focused, to not even affect his
Uttara,
mother
Mata
Uttara.
Uttara.
Okay, very nice.
प्रभु जी मेरे को ये पता नहीं है, अश्वत्थामा ने जो ब्रह्मास्त्र था वो अर्जुन की जो वाइफ थे उनके ऊपर फेंका था, तो कैसे परीक्षित, ये मुझे स्टोरी नहीं पता प्रभु जी.
Arjun's son was Abhimanyu. He was married to Uttara. Arjun's wife is Subhadra. Subhadra's son is Abhimanyu. Abhimanyu's wife is Uttara. Uttara was expecting Parikshit. Basically, she was pregnant. So she was going to have Parikshit. But before that could happen, this battle came, and then Abhimanyu got killed. And then, of course, this situation happened where Ashwathama, he knew that, this is the last person in the dynasty of the Pandavas. So let me just kill this small boy so that the dynasty could not go forward. So that's how he focused and threw the weapon.
Yes, Prabhuji, now it's clear. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. But
मैं
what
actually
are you? Sorry.
Go ahead, Auntie, please.
Actually, isn't it that Ashwatthama wanted to retaliate to Arjun because Arjun was coming to kill him? So didn't he throw the Brahmastra at Arjun at that time?
Yeah, initially he attacked Arjun, but later on he had also attacked Parikshit. Okay, anybody else? All right, so I think we'll end today's conference call. Today is Ekadashi special day. So how many of the devotees were able to chant extra rounds today?
Some reason I'm having hard time getting up.
So the question of Nirmala Mataji is that it's a hard time getting up in the morning. Mataji,
I used to get up 4 or 5 and I used to do it before, but recently I don't know what's happening.
yeah, I think of course other devotees, so Shant Prabhu, Ashok Prabhu, other devotees can share better in this regard, practical tips. But what I heard and I felt is sleeping early is the best. That's why we try to end the conference call by 9 unless devotees have specific questions and we want to address those. We try to end the conference call by 9:15, something like that, and then devotees can take rest. So early sleeping is good. And then the other thing is, if that is the only reason because of which are missing chanting, then that is a very, very serious matter. Must sleep much early. For other devotees, even if they get up a little bit late or the routine is a little bit off, their priority to chanting is so serious that it is not dependent on any of these external factors. These are all external factors. If they are falling into place, the chanting can improve. That is very nice. But if somehow or the other, some things don't go according to what I want, still I will not miss my 16 rounds. That is the kind of seriousness which a devotee is striving for. So that is a matter of different people, how they can apply in their life. It could be very different for different people, different routine. But certainly we have the opportunity that all the devotees can join. Rakshita Mataji, Raksha Mataji, they both start chanting most times even before me. So I think I am very inspired by many of the devotees here.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I'm sorry, and I did that for many, many months, but recently, but then when